97% of YouTube channels never reach monetization. But here's what nobody tells you. The difference between success and failure comes down to 7 essential pillars that successful creators master. Last year alone, over 500 new creators hit 1 million subscribers, while talented people with great content remain invisible. The difference isn't luck or talent, it's having the right playbook. You know, when I started YouTube, I made every mistake possible. My videos got no views, my titles were terrible, and growth seemed impossible. After years of testing, failing, and finally succeeding, I figured out what worked, and as a result, I've been able to get 3 silver play buttons, a gold play button. I've helped thousands of people in our community generate over 24 billion tracked views. I wrote the #1 best-selling YouTube strategy book in the world, and today I'm gonna be sharing with you everything I've learned. This deep dive masterclass is broken into 4 parts. In part 1, I'm gonna be covering the 7 core pillars of YouTube growth and the exact steps that took me from 0 to YouTube success. In part 2, I'm gonna be covering my 10-step formula for generating 100 subscribers every single day on your channel. And you can apply these tips even if you're starting from scratch. Here's the most critical part. In part 3, I'm gonna be revealing the single most underestimated skill on YouTube: the psychology of writing click-worthy titles. Get this wrong, and even the best content will stay buried forever. But if you get this right, you can transform your channel's trajectory overnight. Finally, in part 4, I'm gonna be diving deep into the success mindsets that most creators never develop, and as a result, they stay stuck. And for your convenience, I've added YouTube chapters so you can skip ahead to the information that matters to you most. So sit back, grab a beverage, and let's build your channel the right way. You gotta just press record. So after getting 200 million views on YouTube and posting over 2,000 videos, plus testing out some of my tips and strategies with thousands of creators, I have formulated a system called the 7 C's of YouTube success. And I talk about that more in my book, YouTube Secrets. The 2nd edition is out now. And these are gonna help you whether you're just starting, you haven't started yet, or if you wanna scale your YouTube channel to the next level, this formula is really going to serve you. All 7. Number 1 is courage. Number 2 is clarity. Start with the end in mind. When you're starting a YouTube channel, or even if you're further along, you want to have really strong answers to these questions. What is your channel about? You know, the problem people have is, I don't know what to make my channel about. What topic should it be about? This is a good question to think deeply about. Not just, is there an audience for it, but what are your skills and strengths? What will keep you fascinated and curious? Another question under clarity is, who is your channel for? The mistake people make is they try and reach everybody. They think, man, my channel is a gift to the world. You know what I mean? Like, I am God's gift to humanity. And ultimately, everyone should watch my channel. What I've learned is there's no channel that everyone in the world wants to watch. What's better is actually having a specific audience, because if you try and reach everybody, you'll end up reaching nobody. But when you know exactly who your channel is for, then you can get a lot of traction. And the next question is, you know, what's your YouTube business plan? Too many people don't think this through. They think about just starting the channel and how do I get views? I'd like to think, or I'd like to ask, okay, how am I going to make money from this? What's the long-term plan for this? You know, the longer term you think into the future, the longer the time horizon that you reverse engineer your YouTube channel back from. Like, what does winning look like in 5 or 10 years? How would you feel if we were having this conversation a couple years from now? What would have had to have happened in your life, in your family, in your business, in your bank account, and on your YouTube channel for you to be just pumped with the results? Like, think about that. That gives you an end target that you can work backwards from. This is the 2nd C of YouTube success. Clarity. You got to start with the end in mind. And I've learned that the riches are in the niches. So it's powerful to ultimately get clear on having a clear channel topic, a clear person, which we would call kind of like an avatar of who your channel is for, and getting clear on what do you do, how do you do it, and why do you do it. Now, again, of course, I'm throwing a lot at you, and I'm just going to give you kind of an overview of the 7 C's of YouTube success. I highly recommend checking out the book for in-depth walkthrough of each of these and kind of a recap of all these questions. But after you've punched fear in the face with courage, and after you have gotten clear on what your end goal for your YouTube channel is, Number 3 is you got to set up your channel. Channel is the third C of the 7C YouTube formula. So you got to set your channel up. And this is as simple as going to Google and saying, start a YouTube channel. And you got to have a Gmail address. You set your channel up. You got to pick a name. This is the home of your content, right? And so, how do I start a YouTube channel? YouTube will walk you through that. It's free. The steps are all there. But what are the best practices of setting up a YouTube channel? And if you haven't done maybe like spring cleaning on your channel in a while, make sure you have a good avatar. That's either a picture of your face or a picture of your logo for your brand, a strong channel name, a good cover image. You want to link up your website if you have one, or maybe a link to your email list, a newsletter that you have, a free gift you give away as a business owner. You're collecting leads. You want to have links to your social media accounts, fill out your about page, connect an email so people can get in touch with you. And then after you've posted content, the way you organize your YouTube channel is with videos in playlists. And so ultimately, the homepage of your YouTube channel is not just your uploads. You can select a channel trailer. You can select what non-subscribers see, new people to your channel. That's typically a channel trailer. And you can select a video that returning subscribers see. All those different things can eventually build your channel up. That sounds overwhelming if you're just starting, and the first thing you want to do is just get it started. Like, just set it up, get it going. You can improve it and decorate as you go. The next one is content, and that is now you're going to start uploading to your channel, and the goal is to make videos that people love to watch. And you might be wondering, well, how do I make videos at all? And I would encourage you just grab your smartphone. It's a great place to start. On our Think Media channel, our main channel, Heather Torres and I did a series all about how to make a YouTube video with your smartphone only from start to finish. Recording the video, editing the video on your phone, creating a thumbnail on your phone, and uploading everything just from your phone. So we have lots of free content that'll help you with these kind of YouTube basics to get things going. And some of the questions you might ask, though, is, again, what camera and gear should I use? And again, subscribe to our Think Media channel. How do I outline a video? What types of videos actually get views, and how do I edit videos? And what are the best video formats for getting views and making money? Now, I can't cover all this in this, episode. That's why I wrote an entire book with my friend Benji about it, and that's also why we have an in-depth online course called Video Ranking Academy. But I kind of want to give you a 30,000-foot view of these building blocks of YouTube, and those are some of the things you should be thinking. So, as you have mustered the courage to start, gotten clear on what your channel is about, who it's for, you've started your channel, you got it set up, you have uploaded 1 or 2 or 5 videos, or just one, you've started posting content. Over time, the next C is community. Your goal is to build a community of super fans. YouTube is not a one-way conversation. The mindset you need to know is it's not just a place you want to post content, it's a place where over time, maybe not when you're starting, you might say, I haven't got a comment on my videos yet. But over time, you're going to start seeing a community form, especially when you really study the best practices of building community. One of the books we recommend, in addition to YouTube Secrets, is a book from my friend Pat Flynn called Superfans. And it really goes deep into this community C. It's like, how do you actually really make meaningful connections and intentionally build a community? And one of the things under community is also this idea of the idea that you don't need a large community. The myth is I need 1 million subscribers to ultimately make a living or make serious money on YouTube. I need 100,000 subscribers for this to be a substantial thing, or for me to even feel legitimate. It's not true. You actually only need 1,000 true fans. What does that mean? From a monetary standpoint, if there's 1,000 people that essentially transact $100 with you per year, then that's $100,000 a year. And that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to create a product. It simply means that if 1,000 people, whether you link to some affiliate links, they click on those and it adds up to 100 over 12 months for one person. If you have enough views to get a little bit of AdSense coming in, if you were to create a $100 product and 1,000 people, now maybe you have 5,000 subscribers, but 1,000 people are true fans, then that's the math. 1,000 people essentially transact $100 with you in a year's time. That's a 6-figure income. And this point is not even about money. It's just about depth. It's about the fact that stop thinking you need 400,000 subscribers. What you really want is meaningful connections with a focused group of people. And your goal here is just to care deeply and to connect with the viewer. Speaking of money, I've learned this, that your income is directly correlated to the amount of value you add to the marketplace. So if you focus on adding value first, starting a channel that's valuable and helping viewers get results or be entertained, the byproduct of that is that you will have significant income. So if you can go out and create content that really connects with and serves 1,000 people, and think about it this way, it doesn't have to be $100. Imagine if it was $50 per person. That's $50K in a year. Imagine if it was $25 per 1,000 true fans. That's $25,000 that could be extra. And again, I don't even mean to bring up money on this point. I just mean depth, because your income's correlated to the amount of value you give. It's a result of really serving, really entertaining, really educating, and people's reciprocity towards that is they're grateful. And as you give them opportunities to support you on Patreon or buy me a coffee or YouTube channel memberships, or you do an online event or you do a meetup or you sell merch, there's all these different ways to do it. It's just that relationship with the viewer, that's going to be everything, that relationship with the listener. And so the goal here is to go the extra mile to build relationships, foster community, and make meaningful connections. The next C now is cash. After you've set up a channel and a community starts to form, we say you got to build your influence, income, and so you can ultimately make an impact. Community is that influence piece. When 0 people are watching, 0 money's coming in. But as your influence grows, your following grows, now your goal is to monetize your content in multiple ways. Here's a question I like to ask. Based on your niche, meaning based on the topic of your channel and the specific style of content you're creating, what is the shortest path to revenue? Maybe put it another way. What is the shortest path to significant revenue? What do I mean by significant revenue? I mean, what is the shortest path to your desired income target monthly? Let me simplify. If you'd say, Sean, how much money do you need or do you want to live on in a month so that you could hire more people, quit your job and go full time, or start making a part-time income on YouTube? Get clear on that target. I need $2,500 a month, $7,000 a month. I really want to generate $30,000 a month, because if I do that, then I could rent out this space and build out this studio and hire this team. So it's a personal question, but what's the shortest path to get there? See, depending on your niche, you might say, well, I'm kind of doing this comedy channel to entertain people, and my goal is to get it as big as possible. The shortest path might be you really focusing on videos that are going viral because you want to get AdSense and you want a lot of views to work with maybe wider generic mass market brands. You want to work with a toothbrush company. Well, it needs to be just pretty general, Whereas the flip side is maybe you're in more of a high ticket consulting type of a niche. And so you actually are I just need a couple hundred people that are very specialized. And if I could get 3 clients a month, then I could reach my revenue targets. So what is the shortest path to revenue for you? That's a good way to think about it. And then ultimately your goal is to tap into the 10 different ways to earn money from your YouTube channel. There's more than 10, but I break down 10 in the book. And so that would be your goals, to think about which of the best of those 10, serve you the most. All right. And then number 7 is consistency. After you muster the courage to start and you get clear about what your end goal is, and then you start your channel, and then you post a few videos, one a week for 4 weeks, 1 a week for 3 months, 1 a month for the last 6 months. You're doing the best you can, getting as many videos as you can. You're seeing a little bit of growth. You got some subscribers coming in. You're seeing people leaving some comments. Maybe you really went you really hustled and you've posted as many videos as you can, 7 days a week. You did a 30-day challenge. You're posting as many videos as you can. You started to post YouTube shorts. You've seen a little bit of money coming in. You just got monetized. You've been hustling. You got a couple clicks on your affiliate links. Some money's coming in. The reason the seventh C of YouTube success is so important is because YouTube burnout is real. And you might find that that day you get monetized, you're like, dear God, it took a lot of energy to get this far. You're sweating, you're exhausted. And so the seventh C of YouTube success, consistency, is all about building routines and systems so that you can avoid burnout and build a lasting creator career. And so the questions you should be thinking about are, how do I get more done in less time? How do I create more content with less energy? What is the mindset that I need to stay consistent? Another way to put that would be, am I intentionally building mental toughness to stay consistent on YouTube through the highs and the lows? Am I building stability in my emotions to be able to press through the quitting points that get a lot of people stuck in their YouTube career over years of creating content? What are the rhythms of effective content creators? And how am I committing to continuous learning, growth, and reinvention so that I don't actually get stuck and maybe have 15 minutes of YouTube success, but because I didn't reinvent myself or constantly evolve my channel or my strategy or my systems or the way I'm spending my money or the way I'm, building a team or delegating or hiring as money starts coming in? These are all big questions. And you might be thinking, wow, this YouTube thing, it goes a little bit deeper than I thought. Like, I was just trying to upload a few hobby videos. Listen, here at Think Media, we are committed to helping you not just succeed on YouTube. We want to help 10,000 purpose-driven people create a full-time living doing what they love while making a difference in the world with YouTube and experience that success without losing their soul. What does that mean? It means that you don't just succeed in YouTube monetarily or with a lot of subscribers, but then you're burnt out. You blow up your relationships, you're exhausted, you're in pain, like it means that you've created cadences and rhythms and that you continue to learn and grow. And it doesn't mean that you hit that success for 12 months, but then you go into a plateau and a death spiral. Like, how do you continue to stack success and not just compromise to get a little traction and then lose everything and lose your soul in the process? You know what I mean? And so it's not easy. Like, you got to be serious about this thing. Constantly thinking about sharpening the axe, constantly thinking about learning, leveling up, pacing yourself, having a good work ethic, a good study ethic, but also a good rest ethic so that you could be in this thing for the long haul. And what you'll notice about the 7 C's of YouTube success is they're not just like a start and an end point. They're actually a continuous cycle that you want to return to again and again. I've learned that I have to continue to go back to the beginning and develop a new level of courage for the challenges I'm facing today. Courage to scale my business, courage to risk investing in team members and hiring, and am I going to be able to keep them on payroll, and can I balance the budget? Or courage to be bold when culture is trying to cancel people. Courage to share my opinion when haters are leaving negative comments. Courage to continue to press forward. I am continually seeking clarity. I'm continually thinking about, okay, where was this going? Where are we going next? Where are we going? The law of navigation and the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. That's another one we'll link up. Check out YouTube Secrets, super fans. And if you haven't been studying John Maxwell, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, the law of navigation is it's the leader's job to chart the course. Where's this going? Where are we navigating to? And a good navigator is thinking about a lot of things. Do we have supplies on the way? What are the supplies depots? Where are we getting gas? Gas prices are going up. How are we budgeting for that? Like, you're thinking about, should we take the highway or should we take back roads? Are you a Google Maps person or are you a Waze person? You know what I mean? You're an underground back road ninja if you have the Waze app on your phone. Clarity, charting the path. And this is a cycle that we continually go back to. Hey, do we need to update the channel? Have I created my playlist lately? Do I need to clean up some videos? There's some videos that should just be unlisted or private? What's the experience on the channel? Is the cover art even accurate? On our Think Media podcast channel, to this day, we're like 2 years into this, and there's a random picture from our event like 2019, and it's still our cover art. Like that's on my to-do list. And here we are. We're 23 people at Think Media, and we have not updated the cover art of our very Think Media podcast channel. So I hope you feel like you're in good hands. I mean, you're in like-minded company. If you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, hey, one step at a time, one thing at a time. And that's why we want to give you frameworks like this as just reminders to go back to continuously be improving your channel. We've learned small tweaks lead to giant peaks. And so I want to constantly be thinking about how do I, maybe improve my cover art? Is it leading to the right website link? Are my links dead? I do channel reviews all the time. People's links are dead. Like the main thing of their business doesn't even work. So you want to audit your channel. You want to say, how can I improve my content? You want to say, am I really taking time to connect with my community? Every week, our team now does what's called Love Bombs on Wednesday for at least 15 minutes. And we all just devote time to go into our DMs, our YouTube comments on multiple channels, now our Facebook groups, our email inboxes. There's a lot happening at Think Media. But we say, listen, we have to always stay in touch with our community. We can't just be pushing out content. We need to let people know we love them. We need to say thank you. We need to actually be engaged. And we have to do it in a systematic basis. My friend Pat Flynn, author of Superfans, every Friday goes on a walk and sends people audio messages. Now, these are off platform. YouTube doesn't let you do that. But he goes to Instagram and he sends the easy to send audio messages, thanking people who've sent him a DM or connecting with people that are following him. But that's community stuff, because what you'll find is that your community will expand outside of just YouTube onto other social media platforms. That's something you keep doing. You don't just do it once. You got to keep getting cash. You need money for the mission. You can't just get cash once. You got to keep getting it. And then you got to keep staying consistent and thinking about what are the routines for a new season, As at the time of recording, I got a 2-year-old and I got one that's days away. And so I need new routines and new systems for a new season. When I was no kids, it was different. When I was single, it was different. When you're married 2 kids, it's different. You're listening to this, you're like, I'm married 10 kids. That's different. You need different systems for consistency. My friend, keep working the 7 C's of YouTube success. So just a second, we're gonna jump into part 2 of this deep dive masterclass, but I wanted to share something with you if you wanna go deeper on the 7 C's of YouTube success. The second edition of my book, YouTube Secrets, is out now, and you actually can get a copy for free at ytsecrets.com. I'll link that in the description down below. And if you just pay shipping, I'll mail you a copy of this book. Plus, I've created some extra bonuses that'll help you grow your channel faster this year. Now, if you want, you can grab the book on Amazon or the audiobook as well on Audible. But if you want to grab it for free, then head to ytsecrets.com. And it doesn't just cover the 7 C's of YouTube success in the first part, but the second part of this new updated edition goes into what's working for growth right now on YouTube. And it'll be a valuable resource for you on your journey to YouTube success. All right, let's jump into part 2 of our masterclass. Imagine getting 100 new subscribers every single day. That's around 3,000 subscribers per month. And in this, I'm gonna be breaking down 10 tactical tips to help you achieve just that. I'm also going to be covering some outdated tactics that frankly don't work any longer and are a waste of your time and your energy. So let's dive into it. But first, we need to address a mistake that a lot of creators make, and that is only focusing on views and not focusing on their subscriber rate. And so a subscriber rate is basically this. If your channel got 100,000 views in a month and you had a subscriber rate of 3%, then that means you would have grown 3,000 new subscribers, or roughly 100 new subscribers per day on average that month. And 3% is pretty amazing. Like most channels probably have a 1% or even a fraction of a percent subscriber rate. But what this reveals to us is that views is not the only thing we should be focusing on. Our goal should also be to increase the rate with which people connect with us, hit the subscribe button, because we're being intentional in the content we're crafting with these 10 tips, which brings us to tip number 1, upload consistently. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's one of the most commonly shared YouTube tips that you've probably heard before, but I believe it's the foundation of getting 100 subscribers per day. Consistency is what transforms average into excellence. And YouTube is a place where momentum builds over time. For example, my Think Media podcast channel now gets well over 100 subscribers per day, but it didn't start that way. It started with committing to posting one upload per week. And during 2020, I was getting around 7 subs per day, up to maybe 150 on a good day. Last month, which is 4 years later, I'm now averaging around 200 new subscribers to the channel per day. And it's not just the consistency that's happened over the last few years, but frequency is also increased. I'm now doing 2 long form podcasts a week, 2 clips a week, 2 to 4 shorts, live streams 2 to 4 times a month. And so if you want to build momentum, getting to 100 subscribers a day, set a baseline for consistency to start, commit to things for the long haul, but recognize that there's a flywheel effect on YouTube where subscriber growth will grow as your library of quality content grows. Number 2 is write clickable titles. One of the common mistakes I see on creators that I'm coaching when I do channel reviews and looking at their content is their titles are either terrible or maybe they're okay, like they're clear, but they lack a punch to them. They lack a curiosity to them. They don't make me want to click. And in 2024, there's kind of no excuse for this. With tools like Bard and ChatGPT and vidIQ, powering up your titles has never been easier. When optimizing for search engines, you're thinking about keyword research and topic research and making sure that the big idea and the actual search terms are included in your title. But even more importantly is then the humanization of that title. How readable is it? Like, is it a 5th grade reading level and is it read smoothly? Does it read clearly? How much curiosity does the title create? How interesting is the title? Is the big idea clear in the video? By powering up your titles across your library of videos, you will increase your click-through rate, therefore your viewership, giving you more opportunity for 100 subscribers a day. And by increasing your click-through rate and getting more people to watch your videos, you now have an opportunity to invite them to subscribe, which brings us to number 3. Give people a clear features and benefits reason to subscribe. Here's the business definition of features and benefits. A feature is the essential function or component of a good or a service. In contrast, a benefit refers to how a product's features could make a consumer's life easier and more enjoyable. And for example, the feature of a car could be air conditioning, but the articulation of the benefit is that you're going to be comfortable, you're going to be cool, your passengers are going to be more comfortable and cool, you're not going to be overheated when it's super hot outside. And the mistake creators make is they don't articulate both when they're pitching the value of their YouTube channel. For example, this YouTube channel and this video is all about unfiltered YouTube tips for helping you build a profitable channel. Let's break that down. The features are that you're going to get YouTube tips. Now, you might be able to fill in the blank and say there's a reason why you want those, but do you ultimately want YouTube tips when you wake up every morning, or do you want the result that the YouTube tips will bring you? So the benefits become, yes, I can help you get more views and make money. And even more than that, the benefits could become so you can build a YouTube channel you're proud of, so that you ultimately have more satisfaction, make an impact in the world. And so it's both. How could you include things when you're pitching the value of your channel, like, I'm going to teach you this and share this feature and this practical thing that will save you time. That is for busy moms. The benefit is your understanding of how it actually makes people's life easier and more enjoyable. This is also an opportunity for you to articulate the unique difference of your channel. Like maybe your content is more family friendly, or maybe it's more unhinged and full of profanity. That is ultimately a difference. Like the features of a lot of YouTube channels are going to be the same, but the benefits or the angle with which you create your content can really resonate with certain people that are going to hit that subscribe button. So you want to make sure you're giving clear features and benefits, reasons to subscribe to your channel. That would be articulated in the video at some point. But the other opportunity is visual call to actions, which are a lot simpler. It might just be a subscribe button that pops up on screen. Maybe you don't say anything, a little click noise or no noise at all. That kind of reminds people to subscribe. The key point here is that if we're going to increase our subscriber rate, we want to make sure we're actually inviting people to subscribe to the channel. Number 4. High value, non-spammy comments on bigger channels. If you're looking to increase the awareness of your channel, you're just getting started, you're wanting to build up that momentum of people discovering you, one of the ways to do that is to comment on bigger channels that have a lot of conversation happening in the comments section. Think about your own behavior. Many people, while they're watching a video, immediately scroll down, letting the video autoplay and listening to it, and start looking at what people are saying. If comments get a lot of thumbs up, hence high value, non-spammy comments that have something edifying, something valuable to say, then there could be a lot of awareness of that person's channel on a video that's getting tens of thousands or even millions of views. And so 2 tips here is you want to comment early, because the sooner you comment on the video, the more opportunity, the lifetime viewership of the video, people can keep thumbs upping and keep seeing your comment. But I think the way to do this right is to do it in a non-spammy way that really actually adds viewer to the creator and to the conversation happening around that video. And if you think about the other viewers seeing your comment, the tips you share, the perspective you share, the context you share can create curiosity in them to click through on your channel and ultimately check out what you're doing. Number 5, improve your content. Now you're probably thinking, Sean, this is one of those captain obvious tips. Like, I know I need to make better content and make better videos. And I actually have a practical tip for you in just a second. But remember, this is also what our entire company is about. So definitely subscribe, because we have some incredible videos coming out this year and podcast episodes to help you continuously improve your content. But here's one practical tip. Each video should have a promise and a payoff. Your titles should make a promise, and then the video should be the payoff. Let's put ourselves in the viewer's shoes. They're searching YouTube, or videos are being recommended to them, and every time they see a title and a thumbnail, there's essentially a promise there. Like, it's an open door to say, okay, you're promising me education or entertainment. So they click on the video, and what do they want next? They want a payoff. The question is, how much patience do they have until they get the payoff of what you promised? And YouTube is really a transaction in the sense of, if they click on your video and get an experience with your video, your brand, and a payoff follows, a connection was made. The opposite is true, that if you promise something in your title and don't deliver it in your video, or you take too long to get there, then the viewer jumps off, or they feel like, man, you eventually got there, but they're kind of frustrated with the transaction. Now, the reason this is powerful is because ultimately it triggers dopamine. See, dopamine acts on areas of the brain to give you feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. And so when someone clicks on a YouTube video, there's hope that there's going to be a payoff. Your job when it comes to improving your videos is making sure that they get that payoff, hopefully multiple payoffs by light bulb moments, laughter, entertainment moments. And I think just you being more thoughtful on your next video about architecting this, again, will help you get more views and get to 100 subscribers a day faster. Number 6 is collaborate with other creators, which, if done right, is a great way to increase your subscribers and get awareness from new audiences. Now, I have a warning for you. One of the biggest mistakes I see creators make is they think that all subscribers are equal, and they would take any opportunity to collaborate with somebody that's influential and that could help them get new subscribers. But the problem is, you don't want just any subscribers. You want subscribers that are aligned with your content and that will keep watching future videos. So you want to be selective with who you collaborate with. And one of the cool things is that collaborations are easier than they've ever been before. You can use online tools like StreamYard and like Dropbox to exchange footage, to swap footage. You can collaborate with digital tools and writing scripts and planning out the video. And so a collaboration might be actually building out a YouTube video where one goes on your channel and the part 2 goes on the other person's channel, and then you cross promote using the YouTube end card, and you do that really intelligently. The other thing to do is simply interviews. An interview is probably the simplest way to collab. And again, Digital interviews are easier than ever before. So no matter where you're based in the world, it's possible to do this. But I know you might have a few objections, like why would anyone want to collaborate with a smaller channel? Or how could I get a super famous YouTuber to collaborate with me? And my thoughts are this. One, it's smart to collaborate with creators at your same level. Like maybe you have a few hundred subscribers. It would be practical to find some synergy with a creator that has a few thousand, but probably not millions of subscribers, kind of staying in your same sphere of influence. But two, don't make the mistake of thinking that influence is the only metric by which somebody would want to collaborate with you. Ultimately, what it is a value exchange. And so if you can articulate what value you could provide, which might just be clear in the style of content you create, maybe there's some synergy around your skills in video editing, storytelling, content creation, maybe the access to resources or locations or cool experiences that you have or cool ideas, and put yourself in the shoes of the person that you want to collaborate with. You know, content creation is hard. And so if you bring the heavy lifting to the table, maybe with the scripting and the filming or the big idea or the research, they might be like, that sounds really cool. I appreciate you doing all of that heavy lifting. And so you're bringing all of that to the table. Maybe they're bringing a little bit more influence to the table, and boom, you've got some synergy and a value exchange. Practically, you can find these collaborations by reaching out and connecting with these different creators on social media, being engaged in their communities and comments, and tapping into the power of in-person events to actually meet face-to-face and see what kind of synergy you can create with others. Number 7, focus on evergreen content. Here's the truth. One video can bring you new subscribers every day for years to come. For example, on my Think Media podcast channel, there's a video about the 7 most profitable niches on YouTube. It's actually a clip from a full-length podcast, but here's what's crazy. This video generated 158 new subscribers over the past month, but the video is 8 months old. Now imagine, if you had 30 or so videos generating you 150 subscribers every month, then now you've crossed that 100 subscribers every day threshold. So rather than just getting subscribers when you upload new videos, my goal is to build a library of ranked videos, a library of evergreen content that generates subscribers every single day. Number 8, share your content in relevant communities. This could be Reddit, Discord, Facebook groups, and things like that. But remember, you don't want to do this in a spammy and just self-promotional way. You want to do this in a way that adds value to that community and creates curiosity and interest in your content, which can absolutely lead to lots of new subscribers. It reminds me of one of our Video Ranking Academy students who has a channel about plant-based cooking and vegan recipes. And what they did was they began to look around for different groups of passionate plant-based enthusiasts. They found a Facebook group that was all about that topic. They joined that community, started engaging in that community, and at one point created a post about a particular recipe that they did. They didn't just say, go check out my channel, go subscribe to my channel, but they actually wrote a couple paragraphs of what the video was about, how good the recipe was, what their experience was with it, and the post blew up. It got likes, it got comments, and as a result, people clicked through over to YouTube and the video blew up. And I'll never forget seeing the growth results over the next 30 days. Her channel grew by 16,000%. Thousands of subscribers, tens of thousands of views, all because of sharing the video in a group in an authentic way. Number 9, rank your videos in YouTube search and YouTube suggested. So what exactly is a ranked video? Well, ranked video is a video that appears in the top search results when you type in a search query on YouTube. It's in the top results or it's on the first page, or it's a video that is continually suggested by the YouTube algorithm, showing up on people's home pages, being recommended alongside of other videos. Our definition of a ranked video here at Think Media is simply a video that you post once, but continues to get views for weeks, months, and even years to come. And of course, if the goal is to grow your following every single day, the more ranked videos you have, the more consistent your channel growth will be whether or not you post new videos. For example, one of our Video Ranking Academy students, Jen, has a channel for busy moms. One of the videos she posted last year was mega budget meals, 3 hours of delicious cheap eats with 45 extreme budget recipes. Now, fast forward 5 months and this video still gets 134 views per hour every single day. VPH is an important term to know. It's views per hour. And if you can keep getting views on a video that is 5 months old, imagine whatever your subscriber rate is, that video will keep attracting new subscribers to your channel. Another one of our students, Andrew Finney, is a Las Vegas real estate agent who posted a video 4 years ago on how a home equity line of credit works. HELOC explained and how to get a HELOC. Now that video today, 4 years later, is still getting 10.4 views per hour every single day. Just imagine having 1 or 2 or 10 or 100 ranked videos on your channel. I believe that this is one of the fundamental keys to getting 100 new subscribers every single day. The more ranked videos in your library, the more consistent your views and channel growth will be. Which brings us to our final tip for getting 100 new subscribers every single day on YouTube, and it's this. Number 10, don't quit. The truth is, 100 new subscribers every day is an incredible feat. It's going to take determination, grit, resilience, patience, skill building. And so there's something about committing to the journey. I've learned that commitment is the foundation of all great accomplishments, and great things take time and great things take patience. The powerful thing about YouTube is that if you create content strategically and if you rank videos, YouTube is like a fine wine. Your content gets better with age, and you will start getting more subscribers week after week and year after year, especially when you apply these tips, rank your videos, allocate some of your energy towards evergreen content, and continually improve and level up on your next upload. One of the best ways to start getting more views on YouTube is by writing better YouTube titles, which can boost the click-through rate on your videos and ultimately help you trigger the algorithm and potentially go viral. My promise to you is that by the end of this, you are going to have fierce clarity about how you can create better content, stand out amongst the competition, and ultimately get more views on your content. And I know that's a bold promise, but truly those things are accessed on the other side of writing better titles. And this came about recently when we started to actually expand our team at Think Media. And I realized that one of the skill sets that we need to perpetuate amongst our team is the ability to write great titles. Now, lately, we've been uploading around 10 videos per week on our Think Media podcast channel and our main channel. So we're writing a ton of titles. So not only the ability to write great titles, but also the skill set of writing them consistently is something we really needed to develop internally. So I wanted to release some information and really train our team. So I actually shared an insider document inside of our Slack thread. And I just thought, hey, how cool would this be to share it with you? Because we've now published thousands of videos. Some have done well, some have done not as well, and we've really distilled down 10 things that we consider when not just coming up with titles, but ultimately coming up with even video topics themselves. And this information is going to work in any niche. It'll apply to whatever kind of content you're creating. So here's what we think about at Think Media when we are kind of reviewing or grading or determining, is this title good or not? And does this title include almost all or at least some of these things? And number one is the title benefit driven? Does it have features and benefits? One of the problems that business owners, content creators, and marketers oftentimes make is they actually just focus on the features and not also the benefits. You know, when you think about if you're selling a car, like the feature might be that you have power seats, but the benefit of power seats is you're not going to have back pain. You're going to be more comfortable. It's ultimately going to be more pleasurable when you're driving the vehicle. You know, there are features, that's usually the facts about something, and then the benefits are what it's going to do for you. So here's an example of a Think Media title from a video that Heather did with Rob from vidIQ, and here's the title. These colors are proven to get you more views on YouTube. So kind of the features are like, use these colors in your thumbnails. Okay, so that's good. That's like the fact of it. But what is the result that that's going to get me? Well, that's actually features and benefits in the title. Like, use these colors, and there's a little bit of mystery there. But ultimately, when you do, it'll result in more views. Here's another example from our friend Aaron On Demand, who's actually a part of our 21 video tips series. And if you haven't actually accessed that, it's totally free. You got to check it out at 21videotips.com. But she wrote a title talking about the vidIQ software, and she said this: get more views and save time with this YouTube tool, vidIQ tutorial. So what's the benefit? She actually leads with the benefit, which is what the viewer wants more. What they want is the result. They want views. They want to save time. With what? With a tool, that's now a feature, and then vidIQ itself. Now, if you're already kind of problem or solution aware, then maybe you already want to learn about vidIQ. But a lot of people don't necessarily know what the tool is yet. So this is why it's really powerful to try to include both, or actually benefits are oftentimes much more powerful than features, because I want more views. I want to save time. Oh, there's a tool to do it. Okay, now I'm getting educated about this tool. Here's a title from our friend and student Ben Azadi from Keto Camp. And he said, Keto Diet Plan for Beginners, 15 Things You Must Know. And so ultimately, I think I'm going to learn 15 things about a diet plan that I'm interested in, right? So the diet plan is the feature. And then there's a little bit of mystery, which we'll discover later, because I don't know what the 15 things are, but I'm sensing that those are maybe going to be some benefits or maybe more features. So consider when you're writing your next title, how can it be benefit driven? This was, again, one of the tips that I was sharing with our team. And if it lacks that benefit sauce, that benefit sizzle, I'm like, man, we got to power this title up. Number 2, unique and fresh. And I told our team this is actually more challenging for us now because of our history and because of how many videos we post. So the challenge, and whether you're just starting, and if you haven't even posted videos, you got to keep in mind that there is more competition than ever before. There is more people posting content than ever before. And that shouldn't be discouraging, but we should be aware of it. And that's also one reason to really stay connected with us, because we're here to just help you stand out. And by writing unique and fresh titles that are a little bit different, unique, a little bit fresh, they kind of have something you haven't seen before, something you haven't heard before. And you may be under the misconception or myth that, man, everyone has done this. This has already been done. But the truth is, no, there's always a fresh angle on something. There's always fresh language. There's a fresh kind of positioning of it. So I'm just asking our team, like, hey, man, how can we make this unique and fresh? And I think the biggest tips here are trying to use fresh words. Like, beware of tired language or language that's played out. Like language that's just been used a lot. And so what's the solution here is try to use vocabulary, or try to grow your vocabulary, and to do so, use tools. One of the best ways to grow your vocabulary is actually to become a reader. Those who read, their vocabulary goes up because you're just exposed to new and fresh language. A couple books I like are Words That Sell and Phrases That Sell. These are classic books, more than 6,000 entries to help you promote your products, services, and ideas. Now, you can also Google, here's some things. If you can check those books out, we'll list them in the show notes. But if you want to just tap into some free resources, Google power words or creative words or unique adjectives, and just look at lists that are online to try to power up titles with some unique language that is different than maybe just the average title you're seeing out there. Number 3, speaks to desires and ambitions of viewers. And so when you're writing powerful titles, you want to think about what are the desires of the viewer and what are the ambitions of the viewer. And a really good rule of thumb in any online business any online YouTube channel, especially in education, but even in entertainment is the big three. And if you've never heard about these, the big three are the best, really three niches for creating a solid online brand, business, YouTube channel, and it's health, wealth, and relationships. And when you think about health, health is, of course, how to lose weight, how to gain muscle, but it's also how to overcome chronic pain, how to get to sleep at night, how to have more energy. And wealth would be how to make money, save money, but how to build your retirement account, minimalist living, crypto, investing, stocks, relationships, how to have vibrant relationships, dating, marriage, recovery after divorce, all these types of things. Now, you might say, but Sean, my niche actually isn't in one of those big three. Here's my challenge to you. When marketing, and I know you probably don't think of yourself as a marketer. You don't need to think of yourself as a marketer, but here's what we're doing when we are writing titles. We are marketing our videos, right? We are positioning our videos in the best way possible to get someone to click on them, to be interested in the content. You got to learn marketing. So what you want to think about is when presenting your products, services, content, videos, people joining your course, people joining your list, when you're presenting any of that, tapping into health, wealth, or relationships and things related to that is going to help. People want to click on it. Here's what I mean. If you can say that this video is going to save you time, that's ultimately health. You're going to have more peace. You're going to have more peace of mind. If this video is ultimately going to give you more energy, again, these are the ambitions. These are the deeper things they want. They want more energy. They want more time. They want more peace of mind. If this video is going to save you money, so this is why a lot of DIY channels or something, how to do something DIY is a way of doing something, do it yourself, that'll save you money. So the deeper motivation, if you're thinking about what are the deeper motivations, the deeper desires, the deeper ambitions of your viewers, how to save, by having more time, it might be so that you can spend it on your relationships. So just try to speak to the deeper desires and ambitions of your viewers. And as I was sharing this internal document with our team, I was like, okay, are we aware of and connected to what our viewers want the most? One of the things we say all the time here at Think Media is the creator who understands the viewer best wins. Understands what? What are the viewers' desires and ambitions? What are their biggest problems? What keeps them up at night? And so here's an example from Larry Chung, who's a chartered financial analyst. Actually, he was a part of one of our challenges at Think Media. Incredible story. In a short time, it's only been a matter of months, and he's almost to 100,000 subscribers. But here's one of his videos, and one of his video titles, very rich. Here's what it is. Is it possible to live off dividends? ? A guide to dividend growth investing to get rich. So it's a little bit of a longer title, but his video for him is one of his top videos. It's got maybe almost 100,000 views. So is it possible to live off dividends? This is another kind of tip for titles. You can lead with a question. That's a question that not only that the viewer is curious about, and then it promises a payoff to that. This is a guide to dividend growth investing. There's kind of a keyword in there too, and some people try to say search is dead. I assure you it is not, because you can do both in terms of kind of being clickable and also searchable in terms of Google and the YouTube algorithm. And then, of course, the ambition is to get rich too. So there's a lot happening in that title, and that's a way of thinking about desires and ambitions. Now, this again works in any niche. So I looked up a gaming channel, and here's the title: Max Weapon Level in 3 Games. ! The new fastest way to level up guns in Warzone. So that's a Call of Duty video. Very specific thing. Here's how you can level up your guns in just 3 games. What are the desires and ambitions of your viewers? Every viewer has a desire or ambition, and it may be to be entertained. It may be to be surprised. Of course, Here at Think Media, we think the best and most practical way to really build your influence, your brand, and earn income is to be teaching something, is to be answering specific questions, solving problems, because entrepreneurs solve problems for a profit. So think about how can you speak to the desires and ambitions of viewers. Next, the title should call out a specific audience. Now remember, you don't need all of these, but if you can have some of these will power up your titles. So here's an example. I did a video recently, and the title was An Urgent Warning for All Content Creators. That is a specific audience. If you don't identify as a content creator, you're not going to click on that video. Great. That's actually a good thing. Here's a title from Jay Shetty. He said, if you're an introvert, watch this. Great. If you're not identifying with the word introvert, if that doesn't leap out to you, well, then you're probably not going to click. But if you go, oh, well, that's me, it's like a magnet that pulls in a specific audience. This is why this is powerful. When you actually call out a specific audience, of course, it's going to eliminate a lot of people that are potentially clicking, but you'd be surprised. You're end up going to be performing better when you niche down the audience in the title because it's so strongly resonating with a particular type of person. Here's the title from Personal Styling. How to Hide a Larger Stomach. Do's and Don'ts, Apple Shape. Whew, this was one of their higher performing videos. And there's a lot of details in there, of course. Okay, with fashion or with style, I'm going to hide a larger stomach. Well, what if I have an apple shape? It's a particular body type. So rather than just going so generic in your titles and in your content, think about how you could be much more specific by calling out a specific audience. One more example, my top 20 first-time home buyer tips, first-time home buyer advice. And so again, if you are an investor, it's not for you. You're not a first-time home buyer. If you're not even interested in buying a home, you're not going to watch that, but you're calling out a specific audience. So think about how you can call out a specific audience in your content. And then finally, number 5, agitate a problem the viewer has and make a promise to solve it. So one angle you can go is speaking really to desires and ambitions. Another angle you can go is speaking to problems and making a promise to solve it. And so here's an example from Twin Home Experts. Black mold. How we get rid of mold in under 3 minutes. Man, what a title. Here's my problem, black mold. I want to get rid of it. Great. And then there's some speed. There's a time frame added there, and it's a fast time frame. Man, I got to check this out. I got a problem, and I want to fix it, and I want to fix it quick. Strong title. Here's another example from Retirement 360 Blueprint. Tax strategies for high-income earners to help reduce taxes. So we're stacking these because their specific audience is high-income earners. Tax strategies is more of a feature. Like, I don't wake up any given day and I'm like, I just need some more tax strategies. Like, I actually do wake up thinking about that a lot of times, but I think about the why. It's not I need the feature of tax strategies. It's because I want to help reduce my tax bill, my tax payment. So ultimately, he's stacking them all together. And notice how this is possible in just one sentence. Tax strategies for high-income earners to help reduce taxes. You're hitting the problem, and you're also making a promise to solve it. Check out this one from All Out Blitz Fishing. Crab pot basics. How to set up your crab pots to catch more crab, right? And so maybe you're new to crabbing, and you want the basics, and then the promise to solve it is here's how to set it up. And here's the benefit. Not just I'm going to teach you how to use your crab pot, but what's the ultimate desire you have? I want to catch more crab. And so I want you to consider how could you use these titles, of course, in your next video. And these are some of the things that we use as triggers to remind us at Think Media. Are our titles scoring well in any of these categories? They don't have to be in all of them. Or are they underperforming? Are they doing this? Because these are the type of power levers that you can add to your titles on your next video to get more views and get more impact. And here's one reason why this is so powerful. It's actually a lot deeper than titles. What it's really about is understanding topics, understanding what viewers potentially want to click on, what they're interested in, and ultimately going to the deeper levels of understanding human behavior and human psychology. Because we are creating content for real people. We're actually not trying to reach the YouTube algorithm. We're not trying to reach a robot. We're not trying to reach the YouTube algorithm is just a robot. It's just a computer that is actually trying to serve up the best content for people. And that's why we say at Fake Media, the creator who understands the viewer best wins. But I'm excited to get into the next 4 tips that I was really sharing with the Fake Media team. And these were like frames to think about when coming up with titles. They're like spectacles, like a pair of lenses that you put on your eyes when you're evaluating either a title you've already written, or a title you're trying to come up with. And so let's get into the next 4. And the first one is the title creates curiosity and it makes you want to click. So your question is, how can you create curiosity? Here's an example. Heather did a video titled this, the top 10 secrets you must know before starting a podcast. Now, this is kind of classic, powerful marketing and attention getting because it's saying the top 10 secrets. Like, what are the secrets? What are the things I must know? So it's making kind of an assumption, right? We are talking to a specific audience, and the specific audience would be wanting to start a podcast. And then it's saying, here's some things you must know, but I don't know what the things are. So the mystery is that I got to click on the video and discover that inside of the video. One of the things that can hinder your videos is revealing the payoff in the title. Now, there's maybe a time to do that, just being really practical and clear. But your goal would ultimately be to create a little mystery at times. Here's a video that Graham Stephan did, and here's the title. Why I Stopped Spending Money, ... What's on the other side of that? Now, a disclaimer is that sometimes this strategy works better once you have a little bit of momentum because, people know who Graham Stephan is. They know who I is. And there's a greater context and story happening around him at the time of posting that video. I'm following Graham for financial advice. Why is he stopping money? It's probably some financial news that came out. It's probably something that happened. But nevertheless, the question is just to ask ourselves, okay, is this title creating curiosity? And at what degree do I want to click? Am I apathetic about it? Does it seem kind of flat? Does it not really have any energy or emotion around it? Or is it irresistible? If I was scrolling through my subscription feed or on my YouTube homepage, and of course a good thumbnail is paired with it, but then I read the title and I'm like, oh man, I got to know what's on the other side of that, then you're onto something with a powerful title. Number 2, it opens a loop and it doesn't give the video away. Now, again, this is a little bit similar to curiosity, but here's our goal is to open a loop. And so one of the videos I did that really was quite popular was actually a live stream. But even after I stopped going live, the video went on to get thousands of views. I think it's over 100,000 views. And here's the title. YouTube employee reveals new secrets for growing your channel, ... Now, let's break this down. This is a pretty powerful title, and I've studied copywriting, and it's one of my things I geek out on. I like books from classics like Ogilvy on advertising, and those who learned how to use the power of words to really get people to take action. And so the first thing here is YouTube employee. This taps into authority. Like, okay, it could be like your mom reveals new secrets. Like, that's actually kind of funny, but it probably wouldn't, like, I don't know if your mom knows much about YouTube, you know what I mean? So it's like, you could talk about, my neighbor reveals new secrets, but it's YouTube employee. So it's like, okay, I'm getting someone from the inside. And then the word reveals, it's actually a really powerful word. It's actually one of the power words. So the YouTube employee reveals, because that insinuates mystery. New is another powerful word that we like to use because it's something we haven't heard before. And what we've learned is that we as humans, we love novelty. We want the new version, right? We want the new car. We want the new toothpaste. We want the new car smell. We want the new strategies. So then you have secrets, and that's more mystery. It opens a loop. What are the secrets? And I'm not learning them in the title. 4, benefit for the viewer, growing your channel. My friend, let's break that down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words and ... after it. YouTube employee reveals new secrets for growing your channel. Now, it might be important to note at this moment a little bit of our Think Media process. I want to encourage you that we don't just sit down and necessarily come up with a great title right at the start. Personally, to come up with a great title, I typically have to write 5 to 10. And I just give it my best shot, and then I write another one, and I write them out. For me, I either write them in Google Docs or I write them in Slack, and I'm talking to myself. In fact, Saturdays, when usually the Think Media team is off, this last Saturday, I went in there and I said title crew, which is what we call it when we have our team actually brainstorm titles together. And I said title crew, talking to myself on a Saturday. And I started to do the title crew by myself. Like I was alone. I was all by myself. And there I am. I'm just on a Saturday, and I'm pivoting a title actually in real time, which is something that you kind of develop a sixth sense for. You release a video, you see how it's doing in performance. And I'm like, man, I think it could do better. The content I feel like is pretty good. I don't feel like the title is maybe powerful enough, clickable enough. And sometimes you may want to pivot the thumbnail or you might want to pivot the title. So I'm sitting down and I'm actually coming up with alternative titles. The video is already released. First thing in the morning, I'm waking up, sipping coffee, writing titles. It's my dream morning, honestly, personally. And I'm coming up with titles. You got to sit down and potentially brainstorm multiple. And so coming up with YouTube employee reveals new secrets for growing your channel. If that's like, man, that feels like a challenge, it can be challenging. This is like a muscle and a skill to develop and work on. And so I encourage you, if you want to come up with one good one, write at least 4 or 5, and then even look at them by yourself and say, which one of these is best? Another thing you could do is you could put it out there on social media. If you have a community tab or a Facebook group or anywhere else where you could do a poll, write 3 or 4. Then put all 4 of them out there where there's a poll feature on social media and see if you could get 10, 25, 200 people to vote on that. And a lot of times there'll be a clear winner, because one thing we also realize, and I personally realize, I'm also not as smart as I think. I can get so close to this thing. I might fall in love with the title. It doesn't mean it's the best one. So a lot of times iron sharpens iron when you can share titles even amongst your social community. If you could share it amongst one other person, if you can bounce it off a VA on your team, or again, I know most of us are solo creators. If you can just ask your partner or a spouse and say, hey, which one of these kind of stands out the most to you? Or which one of these makes you want to click the most? That could be a powerful way to, again, open up a loop, number 2, and not give the video away and be really compelling and interesting to make people want to click. One of the titles from the Sewing Report, Jennifer, she's one of our Video Reiki Academy students. She said, watch this before, all caps, watch this before starting an Etsy shop. Okay, your desire of the viewer is to start an Etsy shop, but there's a little bit of drama here. Wait a minute. Okay, I know I want to start an Etsy shop, but before, I got to watch this video before I do it. Now, use these 2 as some formulas. You could fill in your niche. Like, watch this before dating a millennial. Watch this before opening a business bank account. Watch this before buying your first Airbnb or rental property. And you could fill that in. And that's a powerful way to open a loop that kind of makes me have to click on that. So your goal here is to kind of make the viewer feel like they're going to discover something in the video, or that there is a mystery to be revealed. Number 3, here's a way to think is, does this title frame a question that the viewer has? Does it frame up a question the viewer has? Dave Ramsey had this title, should I buy a house or go to college? Now, if you've been hanging out with us on the Think Media podcast for very long, we talk about the ASQ formula, which is it stands for answer specific questions. One of the potentially simplest ways to put a good title out there is to just title the video as a question and a specific question. The more specific, the better. In fact, this is very specific because I don't know, not a lot of people are like torn between the idea of should I buy a house or go to college? But one of the powerful things Dave Ramsey has is he has a call-in show. And because he's actually answering the questions of real people, very specific questions are being fed to him. And so how can you just create a title that just answers a question by putting the question in the title? And sometimes we like to use a combination at Think Media. Like it also could be as simple as like feeling stuck. And so recently on, I think, a YouTube short we were putting out there, feeling stuck, question mark. Watch this video to break through a plateau on your YouTube channel. You're speaking to maybe a question that's more of an emotion, but it could also be more practical. Like, what are the first steps for your niche? So frame up a question that the viewer has. Should I do a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA? It's a question. All right, number 4, taps into fear or pain. Now, this is again important to know in understanding human behavior and understanding human motivation. We as people are pretty much driven by 2 things every day. We want to get away from pain, or we want to get closer to pleasure. And so if our content can help people get away from pain, or if our content can help people get closer to pleasure. Of course, pain is usually the problem that you're thinking about right now and what's keeping you up at night. So here's the title from Sin City Outdoors. This video got 820,000 views. And here's what it says. Vegas water drought, 3 exclamation points. What you should know. Now, you can see how these are stacking. It actually is not said as a question, but one question that's on the minds of people living in Vegas is, are we running out of water? So there's also kind of an open loop, and there is ultimately some curiosity, like what you should know. Okay, I got to click on this because there's probably some facts in here, some information in here that I need to know. But the lead of the title, right, is potential fear and potential pain. Number 1, it's scary to think that we might run out of water. Number 2, it'll be incredibly painful not to have water. So even this comes back to not just how the title is written, even into the very topics you're talking about themselves. When you understand what are the fears and the pain that your target viewer, the target audience, the community of people you want to reach are, your content's going to resonate more. You're going to be stunned by the way that your content starts to really strike a chord because there's an emotional connection and it's what's top of mind for viewers. Here's one from George Blair West. This was actually a TED Talk that got 500,000 views. 3 ways to build a happy marriage and to avoid divorce. Now let's break this down. 3 ways. Okay, I'm going to learn something practical. They framed that up for me. To build a happy marriage. Amazing. I'm getting closer to pleasure. And to avoid divorce. I'm also going to either get out of pain or I'm going to have a anti-fragile, insurance against pain. Maybe my marriage is fine. I want it to be better, but I also want to avoid my blind spots or potential things that could be coming down the road. Do you see how powerful this is? Now imagine weaving just some of these strategies into your content. I mentioned this title that really crushed for us at Think Media, and it was an urgent warning for all content creators. Again, warning is a powerful title. Urgent warning is even more powerful. Okay, so there's a potential, what do I need to know here? What's on the other side of this? So there's this stacks them all up, by the way, right? It's curiosity. What's the warning? It opens a loop. I've got to click, like it doesn't give the video away. And then it taps into fear and pain. It's like, what's the warning? What am I avoiding here? And again, our goal here is not to just spread fear by any means. And there's even a term floating around. It's called fear porn. And that's the idea of the fact that in YouTube, sometimes you just see almost abuse in this area where everyone's just kind of doing these shocking headlines. But I do think that the extremes are avoiding that too much when it's a powerful tool for growth. And I think the best way to do it is, I hope the way we're doing it at Think Media, an urgent warning for all content creators, talking to the real fears people have. But then here's our perspective. We don't have a spirit of fear. We have a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. We have a spirit of power, love, and clear thinking. We acknowledge the true challenges facing us, but then we also embrace the hope and possibilities and the fact that God has given us creativity and wisdom to be problem solvers. Here's the cool thing. Did you know that Vegas is actually the most efficient water city in the world? Like, I actually, because of like, are we going to run out of water? I found myself on YouTube. I watched a 25-minute documentary and I realized we give more water back than we take. And it's actually the other states that are draining the Colorado River. And there's going to be a committee that's going to sit to figure out, because it's an antiquated rules of who gets how much water. And what the video revealed was actually more cities should be like Vegas. What was interesting is oftentimes in the absence of truth and clarity, fear and anxiety remains. And so we hope that you being connected, you don't just take these tools and just go spread fear, that you tap into the real fears and anxieties people have, but then you deliver hope, truth, solutions, that you deliver opportunities, that you help people realize that it's no good spending time in fear or worry. What we're pushing for is ultimately faith, hope, and solutions. And so when we add up all of these, again, this was an internal document. These are just some of the ways we think about this at Think Media. And by the way, I know that this was a lot, and I hope that this has been adding value to you. If it has, definitely leave me some feedback in the comments. Which one of these did you like best? Which one of these are you going to apply to your content? But let's just recap the entire list. So here's all 9 that I share with the team. Number 1, benefit-driven features and benefits. Number 2, unique and fresh. How can I make this title unique and fresh? Number 3, does this title speak to the desires and ambitions of viewers? Number 4, does this title call out a specific audience like moms, like content creators, like someone with an apple-shaped body, like first-time home buyers? Number 5, does this video agitate a problem the viewer has and then make a promise to solve it? Number 6, does the video create curiosity? Does the title make you want to click? Number 7, does the video open a loop? Does the title give the video away? So you're like, okay, I don't need to watch that. It says what it is. Or does it actually create mystery that I need to click on? Number 8, does the title frame a question that the viewer has? And then number 9, can this title tap into fear and pain? Or of course also help the viewer get closer to pleasure. So before we jump into part 4 of our deep dive YouTube masterclass, I just want to say thank you for watching this long into this video. It actually shows me how committed you are to your YouTube success, and I'm here to help. So if you haven't subscribed or liked the video, that would mean the world. And also, before we get into the final part, I wanted to not just remind you that you can get a copy of YouTube Secrets updated 2nd edition at ytsecrets.com for free. Now, I do ask that you pay shipping, but that's it, and I'll mail you a copy of the book. But actually, when you're checking out, there's also a little order bump that you can add to cart of our YouTube starter kit. And we just covered titles, right? And we actually just updated our YouTube starter kit with some really cool AI resources, some additional very powerful title resources, and it's actually packed with a lot of other cool resources. So again, you can check out links and stuff in the description down below. But if you don't only want to pick up a copy of the book, but you want some resources that'll help you with critical components like thumbnails, like titles, just go to ytsecrets.com to check everything out. All right, let's get into part 4 of our YouTube masterclass. If you ignore these YouTube tips, you're probably going to regret it later, whether you just struggle and stay stuck, not getting views, or if currently your YouTube channel has hit a plateau, it's probably because of one of the 7 mistakes we're gonna talk about. Number 1, not embracing YouTube Shorts. Listen, YouTube Shorts are getting 30 billion views per day. That's a 4x increase from the previous stat, and that was reported at the beginning of 2022. So these numbers continue to go up. Not only that, YouTube Shorts is now getting monetization, so you can earn money drawing creators from other platforms, and YouTube is going all in on YouTube Shorts. So, can you succeed without using YouTube Shorts? Sure. But why would you put yourself at a disadvantage when your competitors and other creators are embracing this new medium? You know, there's a creator named Talon Michael who is a Christian content creator. He grew 1.1 million subscribers in 28 days from going all in on YouTube Shorts. Am I saying it has to be the only kind of content you create? No. Am I saying that it should be some of the content that you create? Yes. Short form content is a gateway to long form, and YouTube is now better organized, separating your videos, your shorts, and live streams. I just believe that if you ignore YouTube Shorts and if you refuse to learn how to storytell and create content in less than 60 seconds in a vertical format, or to repurpose your content strategically, you are going to regret it later and you're going to get left behind. Number two, not learning from others. It is foolish to not learn from others. Who could we learn from? I think it's worth looking at your competitors. Now, what I'm not talking about is comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy and it is the killer of creativity. However, there's a great concept from Simon Sinek that is called worthy rivals. By having people who are rivals that inspire you to push harder, people that you learn from, and people that with a healthy respect, you pull inspiration and information and strategy from. So what competitors are you studying in your niche? Are you consuming enough YouTube? Who would have thought that actually watching YouTube now has a business purpose and a strategic purpose, because you're watching to see what works, not just to be entertained. You're watching not to just learn the substance of the video itself, but even the way the video is being created and how the video is performing. What is YouTube recommending to you? What thumbnails do you want to click on? And of course, not continuing to invest in your education. Lifelong leaders are lifelong learners. I've found those that ignore learning from others, and at some point they stop getting wisdom and they stop taking notes and they stop going to events and they stop reading books. Those are the ones that years later find themselves further and further behind. If you want to win, you got to continue to learn. And the only way to win is to learn faster than anybody else. Number three, not listening to your audience. When you stop listening to your audience, you start getting out of touch, not listening to your audience. And also on number three, not listening to your analytics. So we've all heard that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. If you're listening to your analytics, you can then make data-driven decisions to be informed about the next thing you should do better. Ultimately, I don't even really believe in failures. I believe in lessons that can lead you to success. Now, sure, a video may have failed, but really what it did was it educated you and informed you on what not to do next time. And even your most successful videos contain lessons as you study your analytics. Creators that say, Sean, I'm at 100 videos, I'm at 200 videos, I'm at 300 videos on YouTube, and I'm still stuck. You're not listening to your analytics. You're not studying your watch time curve. You're not listening to the comments, or maybe you're not getting comments. Something needs to change. But if you're not listening and you're just blindly continuing on the same path, expecting a different result, you might be insane. It's the definition of insanity. Furthermore, not listening to your audience. I am stunned by creators that start to grow and have some success that stop reading comments, that stop listening to the feedback they're getting on the community tab, that stop, if you're posting on other social media platforms, listening. And I understand, I'm empathetic. Things get busy as your business gets more complex. A lot of mid-level creators that start experiencing success, maybe high five, multiple six figures of income, a lot of times get so overwhelmed because of lacking leadership skills or team building skills or operational skills or business skills or organizational skills that I get it. It's daunting and it's overwhelming. And then you're still trying to create content. But the problem is when you were starting and hustling and valuing every view and every comment, now you're out of touch. I find myself, I'm still in my YouTube Studio app. I'm still in the comments. You know, if you listen to the Think Media podcast, I read every review. If you watch the Think Media podcast on YouTube, I at least read every comment. When you see those hearts showing up in those comments, I'm there. I am replying to the comments. We also have a team helping us, but I rotate around platforms and I can't get to everything. But I learned from Andy Stanley, do for one what you wish you could do for all. And more importantly, yes, I want to reply, or I want to heart, or I want to like the comment, but I also just need to make sure I'm listening. Why? Because that's where the insights come from. When a new video comes out, I listen. If someone starts saying, this seems out of touch, you missed it on this one. If it's just one person, I'll take that with a grain of salt. But if it's 10%, 20%, 40% of the comments are like, you're off here, I at least need to pay attention. Don't we need to have the humility and the empathy to listen to feedback from our community? Listen, I've seen people that ignore this YouTube tip and they regret it later. They find themselves drifting further and further and further out of touch with their audience, and then they start to see their stats and their relevance decline. You got to listen to your audience and you got to listen to your analytics. Number 4, not having a plan or a strategy. Those that just go onto YouTube guns blazing with no plan end up losing. Now listen, I know you got to just punch fear in the face and press record. And that sounds like you do that before you're ready. You start messy. You start poop your pants scared. You can't steer a parked car. Of course, your first couple videos, you got to just get moving, because overthinking and procrastination is what's holding you back. So what you're trying to do is create a little bit of momentum, because truly you cannot steer a parked car. Like, it's not nowadays you have power steering, but literally the car needs some movement. I was looking at a bus driver today and I was seeing how big his steering wheel was. And I was thinking, of course he has power steering, but I was like, that's a physical job. As I was watching him take this corner down in Linwood, Washington, I was like, that's an athletic job, even with the power steering, to steer this thing, because it's this giant vehicle, this giant double-decker bus that he was driving. What's the point? The point is that you need a little bit of movement so you can start steering. But once you get moving, where are you going? Aren't you going to enter a address in your GPS and your phone? You've defined a destination, and then your GPS is actually telling you, turn here, go right here, don't go here, go here. You missed a turn, rerouting. And that's what we need on YouTube. We need to know where we're going. And then we need the play-by-play. Left on 17th, a right on Pine Street. Whoops, missed it. We're going to make mistakes along the way. Rerouting, and we get back on track towards our destination. Those that don't have a plan lose on YouTube. Those that don't have a strategy lose on YouTube. But number 5 is not being consistent. Before you go, I've heard this one before. There's deeper levels to consistency. In fact, I'm convinced 99% of creators don't even understand what consistency is. See, they think, oh, being consistent, I got to upload once a week. I need to upload at least twice a week. I'm uploading one video and one YouTube short. That's not what consistency is. That's a piece of it. That's only like 10% though. See, where people fail, the mistake they make is it's not just about having a consistent upload time. It's also about having a consistent brand. If every time I see you online, you're indistinguishable, I can't recognize you, I have no idea what you're talking about, you're forgettable. Like, I'm not seeing consistency in the look. I'm not seeing consistency in the video quality, in the brand, in the music, in the mood, in the emotion. Because again, we're forgetful people. We're super busy. So if you constantly are looking different, by the way, I was like losing my mind when I thought about growing a beard. And so now I've had this beard for a while. It's, a little bit of gray came in with it. I was like, I don't know if I like it. My wife liked it. And I was like, babe, if you like it, then that's what I'm going to do, And so she was into it. So I went ahead and grew it out. But I was like, am I destroying my brand? Because me without a beard, I look 10 years younger, like a child. Then with a beard, I look 10 years older as And so these are things to be thoughtful about. Like, you don't need to overthink, but you're not just showing up at a consistent time. You want to show up with a consistent look. You want to be memorable. You want to show up with a consistent message. Too many people I see, one day they're like, subscribe for cooking tutorials. And then, 2 months later, 3 months later, I'll check in with them and it's like, subscribe for car repair tips. And then a couple months later, they're all over the place. They have 2 reviews of movies. They have 2 gameplay Call of Duty videos. And then they have a video on how to stay motivated and be a better public speaker. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Like, what is this channel? You're inconsistently posting. Your brand is all over the place. There's game playthroughs. There's you on camera. The message is what even is your message? Your message is constantly changing. Another one's your energy, just meaning that I don't just mean your energy on camera because you might have different moods and vibes. I mean that the energy people get from you is consistent. Like when I hope when people watch Think Media, they get a consistent experience. That's another word for it. You listen to the Think Media podcast, there's a consistent experience here. You're hopefully consistently getting value. We're not going to do it every time. We're not going to knock it out of the park every time, but hopefully, and this is literally numbers I like to use. I like to think about the value I'm going to deliver on the Think Media podcast on a scale from 1 to 10. Of course, I always want it to be 10, but I know it's never going to always be 10. And so my actual goal is that these episodes are consistently bringing you a 6, 7, 8 level of value. I don't want to do too many 6s in a row. The question would be, and this could be subjective, but a 4 or 5 maybe shouldn't be posted. Definitely a 3, 2, or a 1. And this goes back to listening to others. Sometimes I got to listen and be like, I thought that was better than it was or was clearer than it was. It's okay. In fact, I'd say this. You don't want to be fearful like one mistake, one episode is going to like tumble your whole empire. However, what happens is organizational drift. What happens is drift from the excellence you once had, the hustle you once had, the quality you used to have, the care you used to have. As that stuff drifts, people start going, man, this channel used to be good, but it just feels like their heart's not in it anymore. It feels like they're not listening. Just feels like, and by the way, if this feels like a heavy responsibility, good. You have the audacity to want to make an all-time living working from home with passive reoccurring income. So not only can you be generous, but that you have freedom and choices for your family and for travel. You're trying to live the YouTube dream life. It should be a little bit heavy, which means you should be challenged to continue to read and level up and study and invest so that you can bring value when people encounter you. Oh, Sean, this sounds like work. Yeah, it's work on your own terms. It's being your own boss, but it still takes heart and effort and excellence. And so consistency is that when people come to your videos, they are constantly getting a 6, 7, 8, 9, and hopefully 10 sometimes, and very few 6s. If people can click on your videos for the promise you make in your title and be like, that was solid 7. I mean, the channel's really consistent. Even I would rather be consistent over 10 years than be flashy for 10 months. I don't even really want to do 10s all the time. I just want you to always be like, Sean is solid. Think Media, they deliver. It's not the most exciting channel maybe, but man, it's consistent. Watch, I can depend on them. Listen, I can trust Think Media to post consistently, to bring a consistent message, to bring some consistent energy, to bring consistent topics, and maybe some of the episodes stretch. You don't even click on every video. That's a key. Not every podcast interests you. Not every video interests you. On Think Media, for sure, not every video, because you may not have that specific camera or that specific editing software. But the promise of the channel overall, on our main channel, the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video, we're consistent to that. Or at least that's the goal. Listen, if you ignore this YouTube tip, you will regret it later. Number 6, putting money first and your audience second. We got to really learn this lesson lately. We've seen people violating their values for fame or for money. And I don't know if they did it intentionally, and I actually don't know if their values were this upfront. You know, maybe their values were fame and money at any cost. But what can happen is, I want to assume that most people are good-hearted and that they just get sucked up into the momentum, sucked up into the views, sucked up into the opportunities. Like, I'm a small town kid, college dropout. All of a sudden you're having an offer from a big company. You're conflicted. Like, it's hard. You're like, I don't know, they could be good. Of course, we saw a lot of financial YouTubers partner with FTX. That's an ongoing developing story. Of course, we saw Logan Paul, a controversial figure for sure, and this crypto zoo thing. And at the time of me recording this, not only was there a 3-part series from CoffeeZilla on it, then there's his reaction. There's he said, she said, back and forth, the whole deal. And the punchline is that at the center of all of these stories, though, there's people who are really getting hurt in the process. Investors that are getting cheated out of money, dishonesty that has downstream consequences for people being hurt. Again, and the big deal is that viewers lose trust with creators. So if you put money first, of course, in the short term, it may be better for you. But in the long term, you'll regret it. You don't want to put your audience second, because remember, your audience, when it comes to the creator economy, is all you have. I was recently talking to the Think Media team and I said, listen, first of all, our entire business is based on people. It's based on a love of people. It's based on helping people win. We are an education company. We need to be obsessed with people. 2, we need to respect and love and honor to understand that none of us have jobs if we are not putting our audience first. Every Wednesday, we do what's called Love Bombs, which is taking time on Zoom together. We're just all on there. We turn on a little chill hop music. I mute my mic, and we put 10 to 20 minutes on the clock, and we spread out across our email inboxes and our Facebook groups and our DMs. And I try to go as many places. I go to Think Media Podcast, or I go to my Instagram comments. And we do this other times throughout the week, but it is a non-negotiable on our calendar that we are going to have scheduled time of going to wherever we can that anyone's left a comment and liking it, replying, saying thank you, and either hitting as many as we can, or, and this is what I'll tell Think Media team, I'll say, or spend all 10 minutes replying to one person, doing for one what you wish you could do for all. The point is, we want to put our audience first and remember that our community is everything. And the key phrase here, our favorite phrase, is thank you. Gary Vaynerchuk wrote a book years ago called The Thank You Economy. So, and I'll admit, Think Media team is amazing. There's no better team. They're absolutely incredible. But I'll watch it happen. We get busy. We get busy serving people and doing the work, but we can get so busy that posts can go unresponded to, comments can go unresponded to. And even at the level we're at, we cannot get to all of them. But the punchline I call people back to, and I love Gary for this, is saying thank you. And I want to thank you, literally, for like the fact that if all you ever do is just listen to this one podcast, thank you for spending your watch time minutes here on YouTube or on an audio platform. Thank you for hitting like on the video. Thank you for sharing it with somebody. If you've been a part of the Think Media community for years, seriously, thank you. Or you're subscribed to the podcast. And if you've ever clicked on an affiliate link or bought a book or bought a course, thank you. Like, I just sincerely just recognize that if you aren't here right now or we're not connecting, then I can't do what I get to do. And my hope is that I can spark a little bit of that love and gratitude that you would pass it along to your community. Here would be the other angle of this. Never getting entitled to thinking you deserve it. Never getting entitled to thinking that you are better than or above staying engaged and thanking your community, and never getting entitled like you're entitled to money at the sacrifice of your audience, like you're entitled to fame at the sacrifice of putting your audience first, because you never want to forget the very people that helped you get there. And I'm sure you've probably observed it, but what's scary is this is a lot more common than most people even believe, right? A lot of people get success and they forget the people who brought them there. A lot of people get success and they no longer honor the very people that helped them get them there. They never said thank you. They never truly shared the appreciation for the individuals that helped them. And I'll tell you this, I did not get here alone. And no YouTube, like a YouTube creator, I'm self-made. No, you aren't. You had to be made by your audience. I'm self-made. You were made by your parents. I'm self-made. You were created by God. Like, he set this whole thing in motion. No man is an island to himself. We need each other. We need to depend on others. And even the most famous of influencer only has influence because someone is following and commenting and liking their stuff. This whole ecosystem of the creator economy is about community and other people that are interconnected. No one is doing it all by themselves and alone. Even if you're a solo creator, you're depending on the software. You're depending on YouTube itself. How about thank you, YouTube? Thank you, YouTube, for giving me a platform to upload on free. Thank you, Adobe, for giving me software. A lot of thank yous can be put out there. I know I'm on a rabbit trail, but I just want to encourage you to spread more love. It's not about putting money first and your audience second. That's a mistake. It's about keeping your audience first and appreciating and knowing that they are the ones who are allowing you to do what you do. And I want to encourage you that is, as you continue to value them, and dare I say, take your value of your community to another level. Really good book and episode in the archives from my friend Pat Flynn, wrote a book called Superfans, and just the things he would do to love on and connect with and serve his community. That's the kind of energy and position that you want to have. Finally, number 7, trying to be somebody else. If you try to be somebody else, it might work in the short term, but you're going to regret it later. Don't try to be somebody else. You got to be you times 2. Because you were also born an original, so it would be awful to die a copy. But the other problem with trying to be somebody else is maybe you saw somebody doing it a certain way and you saw that it worked, and maybe you're even sort of good at imitating them. The problem is you're out of alignment. I remember a health teacher I had in high school, right before I got expelled, nonetheless, from Christian school. That's a story for another day. And he was telling me about integrity, which I did not have. Clearly, that's why I got expelled. And he said, integrity comes from the word integer, which means whole, which means one. Integrity means living in alignment with your values. Integrity means there's no double two-facedness to you. There's no hypocrisy. There's no, you're one way on camera, you're different in real life. You're different people. You're an actor wearing a mask over here and you're somebody different here. Now, of course, if you're literally an actor and you do skits, you should probably, have, it's okay to try to be somebody else because that's literally the job of an actor. But I'm talking for us that are personal brands that are putting our own brand out there. Friend, it's going to build up way too much stress and anxiety because you're trying to keep up the show. If you want to have peace like a river, if you want to be secure, if you want to be able to be unafraid in any environment, you don't want to have any lies. You don't want to have to ask, who am I supposed to be here? Who am I supposed to be? You just want to be yourself, just authentically you. And the more you could double down on your authenticity, the better. Listen, it also might mean you might think, oh, I won't grow as fast if I'm truly me, or I won't be as famous, or I won't make as much money. Good. I would much rather be me and live a healthy, solid, maybe somewhat modest YouTube creator economy career than to get super famous and get a bunch of accolades for being fake. If my option is to make $60K a year, and I know globally could be, I'm just picking a number, but that'd be like you could live on that certain places in the United States pretty well. You get to do what you love, work from home. I know that a lot of us, we want to make 6 figures and crush it, but just for reference point, if it was about making $60K a year versus $400,000 a year, but I have to sell out, but I have to compromise my values, but I have to try to be somebody else, but I don't get to be me, and I constantly am trying to keep up a show, or I just don't get to fully be me. What's more valuable, money or just truly being secure in your own skin and being yourself? So a huge mistake I see people make that if you ignore this tip, you're going to regret it later, is just trying to be somebody else. And if you can double down on who you are and honestly be you times 2, because what's amazing is truly the most impactful creators that also leave a lasting legacy are people that we observe from the outside and are able to say, wow, like there's something about them. They've tapped into the magic. Why? Because they're in alignment. Congruency and alignment is unstoppable. When someone's just truly themselves, they're the overflow of who they are. They didn't have to make anything up because it's who they are. It's who they've been becoming. It's what they develop. And, they are just right in the center of the superpower of their strengths and quirks and geekiness and non-geekiness and leadership or being more goofy or being more quirky or being more funny or being super intellectual or being really charismatic and energetic or being more monotonous and kind of funny or being really dry and cynical or being more, over the top and directly humorous. Like, who are you? Like, what are the skill sets and traits and parts of your personality? Because when you are that, watch, when people actually then see that and they see who you are, going back to number 5, then you're consistently you. And this is what people can know. Like you or not, they know what they're going to get. And because you know who you are, you just keep showing up as you. And it's been said before, and I'll say it again, your vibe will attract your tribe. You're in harmony. The music you're playing in your videos, I mean metaphorically, but if you're a musician, of course, the actual music, like the harmony that you emit into the world is just you. You're just being you, doing your thing, being you. And one of the interesting things that some marketing firms revealed as I was studying trends was that vulnerability is a big YouTube trend, that people are connecting more when people are more vulnerable. So they're willing to let people see their scars. They're willing to let people see and hear about their mistakes. They're going the opposite of wearing a mask, and they're going to the side of actually, it's not about airing your dirty laundry, although some people do that, or just being crazy vulnerable, but it's just about being more vulnerable and more transparent. Double down on vulnerability and transparency this year, not as a tactic, as an opportunity to create deeper connections with your community and to just be more expressly you. And secondly, they saw that authenticity was a major trend, that what we're looking for in a world where it feels clickbaity and hype and like people are wearing masks and they're playing characters, that when somebody is truly them, we are craving trust and congruency. We are hungry for people just being authentic. And we just kind of want to know who they are, what they stand for. And so don't try to be someone else. So I just want to acknowledge you for making it this far in the video. And I realize we've learned a lot, but really it's only the foundation. In fact, the advanced level framework we have at Think Media is called our 7R system. And if you actually want to learn more about that, you can just click or tap the screen to watch a free video here on YouTube that is a complete breakdown. My name is Sean Cannell, your guide to building a profitable YouTube channel. Hit the like button if you got value today, and I can't wait to connect with you in a future video.